Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
October 26, 2020, the Moore Goldman edition. And we start with that story from the Wall Street Journal. Dylan Tokar reporting in the Risk and Compliance Journal. As Goldman Sachs has come under greater scrutiny, the company says that it will put greater scrutiny on senior executives following the 1MDB settlement. Central to the Justice Department's case was the repeated failure of Goldman compliance and internal control functions to properly investigate, but also was the frankly complete disregard of the compliance function by senior management at Goldman, and particularly senior executives who were on the Goldman account who could override apparently at will. So Goldman will now take a look at clawbacks and other more scrutiny on senior management in view of this historic settlement. Next up, in a very disturbing story for the American government, the Trump administration is attempting to politicize the civil service. As you may know, civil service was politicized up until about the 1890s, and then it became a merit-based employment program. Well, Trump wants to do away with this and make a personal loyalty oath a requirement to get a job. So you can imagine what kind of people would sign up for that. It would be the typical Trumpite and the type of people we see in the cabinet who are not only the most corrupt administration, but the most arrested and convicted administration of all time. So that would permeate down into the U.S. civil service under this new Trump initiative. From the NCAA, the University of Arizona men's basketball team has been hit with 9 allegations of misconduct, including 5 level 1 allegations in a multi-year investigation of its basketball program. This, of course, comes out of the lengthy investigation by the NCAA after investigations into bribes and other misconduct at a number of schools, and Arizona was identified as one of the schools that may have been involved, and indeed a former Arizona assistant was one of the 4 assistant coaches who pled guilty for his role in the bribery scandal. So it's going to be interesting to see if the Arizona Wildcats skate on this. They, of course, claimed, 1, it never happened. If 2, it did happen, everybody was doing it. And 3, it really wasn't that bad anyway. And 4, it's the NCAA, so who cares? But at least it's good to see the NCAA finally moving forward on any front. And finally, in our last story comes from the always great On Management column by Andrew Hill, and it's the hidden skills gap employers must learn to bridge. And the age of coronavirus, as everything else has accelerated, the skills gaps of employees have accelerated. And one of the things that needs to come out is companies committing to bringing these skills through training to their employees. Of course, most employers don't want to do anything like that because it costs money. But if they want to bridge the gap, they have to do so. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.